Mr. Judd Show live and in person to people in Anchorage, Alaska, Bangor, Maine, Miami, Florida, San Diego, California, and then a small town in Nebraska called Ook. But other than that, it was great. Had a great time. Enjoyed meeting the people, shaking the hands, slapping the babies, kissing the women. Kissing the babies. Yes, shaking hands. Felt like a politician. I felt like Trump, only a whole lot different. I hope everybody watched the debate. I had to while I was out just to kind of keep up with what's going on in the world. Very, very, in my opinion, it was just a terrible, 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 terrible debate. And we'll get into more of that later. Hey, you're listening to Hot News Talk Radio, AM 1240. That's AM 1240. You can catch us in so many places. I mean, it's hotnewstalkradio.com. You can listen to us live streaming, and, you know, a lot of people do that. A lot of people do that. And, of course, we're on the TuneIn app. That's on your smartphone, whether you have an Apple product. It even works with a new update on Apple. I did that last night. On your Google product, your TuneIn app, just go download it. It's free. Scroll down, hit Hot News Talk Radio. I think it says Hot News Talk Radio 1240 AM. Boom. You got us, and you can listen to us anywhere at any time. That's how I kept up with what was going on at the station while I was carting around the country. Good to hear that the digital drive was back. And I know I know the adolescent was a huge proponent in helping capture that guy in Phoenix. And we do appreciate that on him. And I mean, it was, I'm glad he was out there. He took his guns and ammunition and went out there and helped save the people of Phoenix. And I know they appreciate that. But you can also follow us on Twitter and Facebook, and it's very simple. Both of them are Hot News Talk Radio. That's Hot News Talk Radio on both Facebook and Twitter. And, you know, if you see something going on, tweet us. Just put at Hot News Talk Radio and follow us. Then that way we'll get you, if it's something very serious, we're going to make sure it's getting on the air. If it's something, you know, we can help all the people of Chattanooga, let's say the road conditions or maybe some severe weather or something, we're going to make sure we get it out. Nice to be back in Chattanooga, the old hometown. The weather's very nice. Kind of a cloudy day today, but that's okay. That's okay. I can do some clouds. And the weather is just perfect. Man, I love the falls here in the one and only Chattanooga. Wow, a lot of stuff happening while I was gone. The debates, did watch it. Did not like the format at all. I think it was a terrible format. I think that CNN was doing one thing, and that was trying to get ratings. The issues really were not covered. I'd rather hear 2 to 3 minutes from each candidate on the issue, or maybe give them 4 to 5 minutes instead of this, you know, he said this about you and she thinks this about you. You know, it was just it was sophomoric, as one of the candidates said. And I think CNN had a lot to do about that. And yes, I know they're out there on the campaign trail and they're saying things about people, but still, I mean, you don't play that in a debate. We've got too many serious issues going on in this country. And wow, you know, we need to be addressing those instead of saying, you know, you have a funny haircut. It was just, I tell you what, it was just something else to watch. So nothing really to me jumps out about it that I wanted to talk about. I mean, it was a lot of back and forth. No, I didn't. Yes, I did. You know, who are you? Oh, you know, I mean, they are accusing Donald Trump of being a show. Well, that debate was a show. And I think that that just kind of says where we are in America today, where CNN should be a serious news organization, and it's not. I mean, it's, you know, trying to get into the rest of the sensational media that really does nothing to help promote things or solve things in this country. And more importantly, it did not give anybody the information they need to make a decision on their candidate. I mean, I know there's a lot of people still on the fence, and they're probably going to stay on the fence until we get a real debate that's going to handle issues. Hey, this segment of the Mr. Judd Show is brought to you by JJS. If you are looking for a home, or you have a home to sell, or you need some renovation work, call JJS. It's 423-618-3980. That's 423-618-3980. They can help you. I know he buys houses, he sells houses, he does rent to own. Give JJS a call over there and tell him you heard him on Hot News Talk Radio, AM 1240, the Mr. Judd Show, the one and only the Mr. Judd Show. Happy to be back. Boy, I tell you what, it was a nice week of, I'd like to say relaxing, but when you're on a plane, you're going from show to show to show. One thing though I learned, and I appreciate my audience, but I tell you what, there are a lot of people that ride these little scooter things now. You know, they're kind of the hybrid. They're not really a motorcycle or a motor scooter, but they are a little 3-wheeled, 4-wheeled scooter that's almost like a wheelchair. And I'm going to tell you, most people I see riding them, if they would get their butts up and walk, they probably wouldn't need the scooter. And rude. I mean, these people are rude. They'll run over you. They look at you. If you know, I know you're up walking on your 2 legs that God gave you. What is wrong with you? So it was an interesting experience seeing a lot of people my age and younger, just because they were overweight, were riding scooters. And I think they're good, but I just don't know if everyone needs to be riding. Are we that lazy? Are we getting that lazy that we can't walk? You know, granted, you do a lot of walking. Yeah, your legs are going to get tired, especially when you're not used to it. But, you know, and I saw some people that had some handicaps or that were very elderly, and they, you know, I think those scooters are great for them. It gives them the mobility that they need. But just because you're too damn lazy to walk, I just don't think you need to be on a scooter riding around. That's just me. That's just my thought of the day. Hey, I hope everybody's having a good Monday, because it is Monday here in Chattanooga, and man, the fall is coming up on us fast. It is a great time to maybe get you a shooting membership from Carter Shooting Supply. They're right there on 58. You can't miss them. They have a great selection of all kind of long guns, short guns, any kind of guns you need. Plus, they have nice packages for individuals or the family in their indoor shooting range. One of the largest around. That's Carter Shooting Supply. They're right there on 58. You know exactly where they are. They're right there past Bayside Baptist Church on the right. Can't miss it. So go to Carter Shooting Supply. If you're interested in shooting, maybe you're an enthusiast, you've just moved here and you're wondering where you can go, Carter will definitely, I mean, they are locally owned, just like this radio station. You know, this radio station is locally owned, and I guarantee you they will take care of you. I hope everybody that's been listening to the David Tulis Show. I tried to listen to David as much as I could while I was away, and then, of course, I went on YouTube last night, caught up on some of the things that he had been talking about. He's from 9 to 11. He's before me. I like to say he is my lead-in show. He's my intro show. And then, of course, we all do the intro shows for the one and only The Digital Drive. The Adolescent is back. And, man, he's got some information for you, what's going on in California, where the sheriff's department seems like they don't have to have a warrant to look at your cell phone. You got to catch him. He's from noon to 1. And then the one and only Keon Rose, Clutch. Have not talked to Keon in a week. Man, it seems like forever, and I know he and I have to go over some picks, and we're probably going to do that on Wednesday. May see if he can push that to Thursday this week. I'm kind of busy coming back. I'd like to come in and talk to him. I know his Texas Longhorns are suffering the same way as my Arkansas Razorbacks, and we're going to get into that. Man, I tell you what, it's been tough to be a fan. Loving the college football scene. I mean, we're going to go through the top, the AP top 25. We're going to talk about some NASCAR stuff coming up. Get back in the groove, because we are the official NASCAR radio station. We're right here in the middle of the chase in NASCAR, so every race is important. We're going to give you an update of where the top 12 are and who the top 12 are, and it's very interesting because the top 4 all have the same owner. And I hope you caught the NASCAR race this week here on Hot News Talk Radio, AM 1240, as we carry every lap of every race. And we also carry NFL football. Man, took it on the chin yesterday. The poor Titans. I tell you what, it's rough to be. My teams that I follow have had a rough go of it the past week or so. But that's okay, because next week's a new week. And I know my Razorbacks are going to take care of A&M, and the Titans, they're going to get back on track. I have faith in the Titans also. You're listening to Hot News Talk Radio, AM 1240. We're the hottest, the newsiest, and the talkingest radio station. Of course, we throw in sports. Clutch, which is from 1 to 2, is all sports. And it's the first sports show, local sports show, that you're going to catch in the afternoons here in Chattanooga. So you want to listen to Keon. Does a great job, very knowledgeable, and really gets into some in-depth stuff. I need to check, see how I was traveling yesterday, so I need to see how his Redskins did. I'm sure he will let me know. I think he and I are having the same season when it comes to teams that we follow. And that's ROUGH, rough. You're listening to the Mr. Judd Show. When we come back, we'll delve into a little sports. We got to talk about what's going on with immigration in this state. And then Dr. Ben Carson, the mild-mannered presidential candidate. Not so mild-mannered. I think he's been listening to the Mr. Judd Show. In fact, I'm almost positive he has.
Next morning, clouds but mainly dry weather for your Monday. Afternoon highs into the lower 80s tonight. Becoming fair, comfortable lows upper 50s with some sunshine and pleasant weather for Tuesday and Wednesday. Highs 81 to 83. Experience the demo teams of the U.S. Air Force F-22 Raptor, F/A-18 Hornet, U.S. Marine Corps Osprey, and the Geico Skytypers at the Wings Over North Georgia Air Show in Rome, October 3rd and 4th. For tickets, wingsovernorthgeorgia.com. And I'm WDEF News 12 Chief Meteorologist Patrick Hoare.
On AM 1240, Hot News Talk Radio.
You give us 12 minutes and 40 seconds, we'll give you Chattanooga and the world.
News Talk 1240.
Hi, I'm Rebecca Costa, host of the Costa Report every Sunday at 9 a.m. My guest this week is former Commander-in-Chief of the U.S. Central Command, General Anthony Zinni, who'll be here to explain what it will take to stop the ISIS momentum. Don't miss General Anthony Zinni this Sunday at 9 a.m. in the Costa Report, right here on AM 1240 Hot News Talk Radio.
Here you are, working to keep your customers happy and manage your cash flow. IRS problems are the last thing you need, but here they are, flapping about you like vultures. Get help from Eric Pelton and his team of accountants at E.J. Pelton Company. Audits, letters, proposed return changes, 1099s, penalty threats. Pelton Tax Resolution Services brings peace of mind and helps you keep more of what you've earned. EJPelton.com. Offices on Brainerd Road and in Saudi Daisy, just north of the Bilo. That's E.J. Pelton. Call 622-3156. Think ahead. 622-3156.
Hey, all you gun enthusiasts! Carter Shooting Supply has just bought a crazy load of guns and is having a crazy huge sale event. Going on now, a huge inventory of Smith & Wesson, Glock, Ruger, and Taurus all on sale. Taurus guns have a mail-in rebate for $25 to $50. All long guns and all ammo on sale too, just in time for hunting season. Come in and take advantage of this crazy huge sale event. Going on now at Carter Shooting Supply, or shop from home by going to CarterShootingSupply.com. Highway 58, Harrison. Check our prices before you buy.
Are you tired of working in corporate America, or have you recently lost your job and would like to consider owning your own business? If you are, please call me, as I can help you look at franchises or business opportunities that fit you, the economy that we're in, and the type of businesses that are right in the greater Chattanooga area. After I help my clients find the right opportunity, I also help them find the best way to finance the business, including paying yourself through the startup phase. If you would like to learn more about opportunities that may be right for you, please call me for a free assessment. My name is Bruce Krebs at the Entrepreneur Source. Phone number is 423-875-5621.
If you have the DTs, the shakes, because your phone is on the fritz, you have nomophobia. You need help. Your telecom doctor is in. Cell Surgeon at Northgate Mall. Cell Surgeon yanks open the ribcage of your phone, pries out the dead heart, and puts in the beating life that you lead on your cell phone. Broken screen, phone not charging, water damage, battery given out? Cell Surgeon at Northgate Mall next to Old Chicago Pizza. Check us out on Facebook. Open Sunday. Cell Surgeon. We bring your phone back to life. Mention Hot News Talk Radio and get 10% off.
This is America Now with Meghan McCain.
Al Gore running is crazy. You're flying around in your private jet all over the world, and you want average Americans to care about the environment. Don't you think you should be doing your part as well?
Meghan McCain, weekdays at 7 p.m.
You give us 12 minutes and 40 seconds, we'll give you Chattanooga and the world.
News Talk 1240.
Ooh, baby, it's the Mr. Judd Show.
Yes, it is. The one and only, the Mr. Judd Show's back after gallivanting around the country. Man, I tell you what, left here, went to Anchorage, Alaska, been from Anchorage, Alaska, all the way to Miami, Florida, from Miami to San Diego to Bangor, Maine, and then ended up in Nebraska. Maybe I should have swapped that. I got a terrible travel planner, I can tell you that. Spent most of my time on a plane, had a good time, met a lot of good people, and man, my Twitter is going crazy. People are asking where I was. They want to know where Tex is, all kinds of stuff. And I don't have an update on Tex. In fact, I'll try to get that for you so we can find out exactly what's going on with Cowboy up with Tex. But I do want to give you an update here on Hot News Talk Radio, AM 1240. We are the official NASCAR radio station in Chattanooga. No one else has NASCAR on the radio but us, and they've been playing the second half of the season on that NBC weird station that nobody can find and watch. And so what happens is a lot of people maybe not even have it on their satellite or cable system, so you're going to have to listen to it on the radio, and you can listen to it here. Now, as you may know, most of your NASCAR fans will know, Denny Hamlin wins at Chicagoland, and that's a big win for him because he is your leader, and we're going to go through that in just a second. I want to remind you, though, this Sunday, September the 27th, that is at 2 o'clock, we're going to be airing the NASCAR race. We're right in the middle of the chase, so we're about to crown a champion here in just a little over a month, and that'll be crowned right here on Hot News Talk Radio, AM 1240. But that's the Sylvania 300, and that's the New Hampshire race at the Motor Speedway. That's going to be Sunday at 2 p.m. So let's look at some of your standings, and here's the deal. Top four are all from the same Joe Gibbs Racing. Number one right now is Matt Kenseth, followed by Denny Hamlin, who was your winner of Chicagoland. Carl Edwards is number three. Number four is Kyle Busch. And then we got another Busch, Kurt Busch. Yeah, you thought I was going to say Jeb, didn't you? Nope. Didn't do it. And but Kyle Busch, Carl Edwards, Denny Hamlin, and Matt Kenseth, your leader, are all with Joe Gibbs Racing. You got Kurt Busch at number 5, Joey Logano, the young boy, at number 6, Jimmy Johnson, number 7. That's a little surprising he's that low. Then you got Ryan Newman at 8, Brad Keselowski at 9, Dale Earnhardt Jr., Little E, is number 10, Martin Truex Jr. at number 11, and then Jeff Gordon at number 12. And, of course, this is Jeff Gordon's last season to be running, so it's going to be anxious to see if he can move up there, and let's, be nice for him to go out with a championship since he is retiring. So that's your standings in NASCAR. Now, I know there's a ton of SEC fans around here, and we're going to talk about the AP Top 25 here in just a little bit. But I want to remind everybody, tonight at 7:30, your Chattanooga Lookouts are playing for a championship. The Southern League Championship is on the line. They're playing here at AT&T Field. So make sure you get down and support the Lookouts. It is at 7 o'clock, and yes, I know it's September the 21st, and I am talking about Chattanooga Lookouts baseball. That's a good thing. That means they're in the championship, so we're going to get that taken care of. They're going to get that taken care of, and boom, we are going to have a championship here in Chattanooga. Be so nice for them to win that here so that we can enjoy it with them. So they're going to be popping the champagne and the milk, because they're going to win the championship tonight. So everybody get out and support them. Best value in town, even though it is a championship game. You're listening to Hot News Talk Radio, AM 1240. You can follow us on Twitter and Facebook, and that's Hot News Talk Radio on both of them. Keon's running the Facebook and does a great job. Of course, everybody knows that Confederate Mike is running the Twitter. Some days he does a great job. Other days, well, he's on Twitter. Let's just keep it like that. You can take us anywhere at any time, and that's at hotnewstalkradio.com. If you're sitting in your cubicle or you're sitting in your office and you want to find out what's going on, because we have great local as well as national talk, hotnewstalkradio.com, or you can go to your TuneIn app. And I know everybody's heard this over and over on the station, but it's a great app. You can pick us up anytime, anywhere, no matter where you're at. You could be in Bangor, Maine, or you can be in Anchorage, Alaska, or you can be in Shizuoka, China, and you can listen to Hot News Talk Radio here in Chattanooga. It's very simple. You download the app. That's the TuneIn app, whether you got a smartphone. Download it. Go click Hot News Talk Radio, AM 1240, and boom, you're in. And you can listen to me anytime you want to. Just be conscious of the time zones. It's 11 to noon Eastern time in beautiful, beautiful Chattanooga, Tennessee. So don't get caught up and say, oh, man, I missed your show because of, well, make sure you're on the time. I mean, if you're in Anchorage, Alaska, you're probably just now, I don't even know if you're waking up yet. So, man, what a time change. A beautiful country. Get there before it gets too cold. It was already cold. But anyway, we come back. We're going to talk about the top 25. And if you were a fan of the major colleges in the state of Alabama, you had a rough weekend, is all I have to say. You had a really, really rough weekend. And if you were a fan in the state of Arkansas, you had a rough weekend. But I'm sure Keon's going to break down all that. I do want to give you the top 25 Associated Press poll. We're going to go through that, see some of the changes. Number 2 in that poll kind of makes me shake my head and go, And then Ole Miss. Hotty toddy, gosh almighty. Ole Miss has jumped up big time after their big win. So we're going to go through all of that. The Mocs won. I mean, it was a good weekend. If you're a Chattanooga Mocs fan, they beat Samford, and they beat them pretty good, pretty handily. So, and the Cowboys won. They did beat the Eagles, even though they lost Tony Romo. And I'm sure this is going to be stuff that in depth, the clutch, which is from 1 to 2, the only sports show that is on at that time, local sports show, you got to listen to him. And that's with Keon Rose. After him is Laura Ingraham. And then from 3 to 5, you have Sean Hannity. And then at 5, we have the only local show that's going to give you traffic updates. It's going to give you news. It's going to give you weather and all that good stuff. And that's from 5 to 6. And that's hosted by Russell Stroud, news director. Russell Stroud is going to keep you updated. He's going to make sure you get home safe. You're going to make sure you get home quickly. And that's only on Hot News Talk Radio, AM 1240. When we come back, we're going to go through the Associated Press top 25. I think everybody knows number 1. Number 2 to me was a very big surprise. We're also going to talk about some things with Dr. Ben Carson, and then voting drives immigration in Tennessee. That's really a surprise. Isn't that a surprise that's why all this immigration? But there were some things I read in this article that kind of surprised me. So I want to bring that out to you, and then we're going to talk about how we know that Dr. Ben Carson, as most of the presidential candidates, listen to this show and listen to this radio station, Hot News Talk Radio, AM 1240.
You give us 12 minutes and 40 seconds, we'll give you Chattanooga and the world.
News Talk 1240.
Expect morning clouds, but mainly dry weather for your Monday. Afternoon highs into the lower 80s tonight. Becoming fair, comfortable lows upper 50s with some sunshine and pleasant weather for Tuesday and Wednesday. Highs 81 to 83. Experience the demo teams of the U.S. Air Force F-22 Raptor, F-A-18 Hornet, U.S. Marine Corps Osprey, and the Geico Skytypers at the Wings Over North Georgia Air Show in Rome, October 3rd and 4th. For tickets, wingsovernorthgeorgia.com. And I'm WDEF News Swell Chief Meteorologist Patrick Hoare.
On AM 1240, Hot News Talk Radio.
Social media, we're on that. Hot News Talk Radio on Facebook, at Hot News Talk Radio on Twitter. Download the TuneIn app and follow us anywhere at any time. AM 1240. Hot News Talk Radio.
Compass Media Network's coverage of the NFL. Hi, this is Jerry Recco. Join Kevin Ray, Danny White, and myself for all the action.
Hot News Talk 1240.
If it's the NFL, it's right here.
You give us 12 minutes and 40 seconds, we'll give you Chattanooga and the world.
Hot News Talk 1240.
If the South would have won, we'd have had it made. I'd probably run for president of the Southern states. The day Elvis passed away would be our national holiday. If the South would have won, we'd have had it made.
NASCAR, Laura Ingraham, David Tulis, Coast to Coast AM, and CBS Radio News. Chattanooga's news, talk, and sports leader.
Hot News Talk 1240.
You give us 12 minutes and 40 seconds, we'll give you Chattanooga and the world.
Hot News Talk 1240.
Ooh, baby, it's the Mr. Judd Show.
Yes, it is. And the Mr. Judd Show is brought to you by JJS. If you're looking to maybe sell your house quick, you may be just tired. You got to get out from under things. Life's hitting you, and you got to get out of it quick. You can call JJS. If you're looking for a house to buy, He can help you in so many ways. He does lease purchase, lease to own, does some rentals, also does a full array of rehab work, whether it's a rental rehab or maybe you've got a project that you want to turn from a apple to an orange. You can call JJS at 423-618-3980. That's 423-618-3980. And just tell him you heard it at Hot News Talk Radio, and he'd be more than happy to help you out. All right, let's talk the Associated Press top 25 because there was some changes. Alabama lost to Ole Miss. Auburn just got slaughtered by LSU. USC lost to Stanford, so there is going to be some changes. Ohio State's number 1. That is not a surprise. Number 2, to me, is a big surprise. Michigan State jumped up from about number 6 to number 2. And that is a big surprise. I know TCU did not look so good, but they're staying at number 3. Ole Miss jumps from 11 to number 3. And that's a big win for them. They won at Alabama. Second year in a row they beat them. So I guess they're warranted of a number 3 spot. And they're really tied with TCU is how they do that. Why not just say they're number 4? I don't know. Baylor's number 5. Notre Dame number 6. And I tell you what, I was really surprised that Notre Dame put a whooping on Georgia Tech, and that's hard to do because Georgia Tech, they're running an offense that you don't see a whole lot. Number 7 is your Georgia Bulldogs. Then up to number 8 is the LSU Tigers. UCLA number 9, Florida State number 10, Clemson number 11, Alabama falls to number 12. Then you got Oregon at 13. Texas A&M moves up to 14. Oklahoma 15. Arizona 16. Northwestern at 17. Wow, I never thought I'd say Northwestern. I mean, they're really putting together a good program up there. Maybe they're the ones that gets Ohio State. Ohio State struggled against a nobody too. Utah at 18. USC falls all the way to 19. Georgia Tech at 20, so they do stay in the top 25. Stanford puts back in the top 25 at number 21. Wisconsin at 22. BYU at 23. Oklahoma State at 24, and Missouri, who survived it was an odd game. They're staying at 25. So we saw Auburn fall out. And, I think there's some questions at Auburn. So that Auburn-Arkansas game ought to be a real humdinger. Boy, I can't wait for that. Arkansas plays A&M this week, and to help promote Keon's, and he has Clutch, the sports show. He's a Texas fan, and they lost to California as a rough loss, man. I hate that for him. It was at home, but then, they have Oklahoma State coming in, so their schedule still does not get any better. It was funny, before I left, I heard that they were talking about Brett Bielema, the coach of Arkansas, maybe going to Texas. Now, after these past 2 games, I'm ready to help him move to Texas. He can move to Texas and take over the Longhorns anytime he wants to. Just a horribly coached game. I know they got a lot of injuries, losing a lot of receivers, and I understand that. But at the same time, your offensive line's still intact. You still have your running game intact. And come on, let's run the ball. And defensively, Arkansas looks absolutely terrible. They look horrible defensively. I'm not so sure what happened from last year to this year, but all right, that's enough Arkansas talk. Hey, your Tennessee Vols looked good. Nice bounce back after losing to Oklahoma. Going to be interested to see what happens there with Florida this week. Tell you what, that's going to be a very, very interesting game. Florida and Tennessee, I think it's going to be a big game for both teams. So we'll see what happens there. So that's your top 25. Congratulations to Ole Miss moving up. Anxious to see what happens with Alabama. To me, it seems like they play better when they're under the gun. When they're behind the 8 ball is when they seem to play a lot better. Speaking of things to do, let's say you're not a big college football fan, or maybe you're not an NFL fan. You want to do something on the weekend or get away on the night. Why not go to Carter Shooting Supply? And they have an indoor range, which is the nice thing. Now, they're on Highway 58 in Harrison. It's actually 6210 Highway 58. Look, they've got the Tennessee handgun permitting class. They get an indoor shooting range where you can get individual memberships. You can get family memberships. A regular membership is $20. That's not bad. Now, they're having a huge sale right now. So go in there and check out the short guns, the long guns. They got all kinds of stuff on sale. All of your hunting needs. So anything has to do with shooting, and right now it wouldn't be a bad time to maybe take that class, buy you a couple of handguns, get ready for the apocalypse. I think the blood moon is coming. When is the blood moon? It's either the 23rd or the 26th of this month. So you may want to go ahead, if nothing else, go in and stock up on ammunition. So that's Carter Shooting Supply. They're at 6210 Highway 58 North. You can go to CarterShootingSupply.com. That's CarterShootingSupply.com, or give them a call, 423-344-1099. That's 423-344-1099. Now, there was a very interesting article in the Tennessean today, and it talks about it talks about immigration is really, for voting. Voting drives immigrants to citizenship. But really, that's what this is all about. That's why, most of them are going to vote Democrat, and that's why the Democrats are so big on immigration. But there were a few facts in here, and I encourage you to go to the Tennessean. It's right there on the front page, and read the article yourself. But there was a few facts in here that kind of really kind of made me go, we're one of the top states for immigrants to move here. And that's pretty big. I mean, I think that's real big. It says more than 114,000, nearly 38% of the total foreign-born population are naturalized citizens and eligible to vote. Statewide, we have 75,000 immigrants that are eligible to apply for citizenship today. I thought that was a pretty big number. Now, they went on to talk about the cost of it. It costs like $650 for your application, but then you have to get an immigration lawyer, which, they're pushing this. The immigration lawyer involved, you're looking at about 10 grand. And, they're making their case in here that, hey, people just can't afford that. And we want these people to be viable citizens. And of course, they interview someone and they talk about how that they feel that they're being discriminated against and people look at them differently because they're not citizens. And then they talked about someone who went through the citizenship process. And it's not an easy process. And I don't think we need to start changing it, because one of the things is they have to learn to speak English. And I think Donald Trump was absolutely correct when he looked at George Bush the other night and said that if you're in this country, you need to learn to speak English. The debate should be in English. Everything needs to be in English. And that's not slighting anyone. That's not being mean. That's not saying, hey, you're a bad person. What it is saying, this is our country. If you go to France, you're going to have to, if you run for office, everything is in French there. They don't give it to you so what you do is, it needs to be in English. We are a sovereign country. I know there's some people on this radio station that may debate that, but we are a sovereign country, and we should act like a sovereign country, and English should be our language. So, I saw some traveling around the country. I see where there's a lot of things where all of a sudden there's stuff in Spanish, and I believe in capitalism, and I believe all of these stores have that right to do that. And I understand why they do that. I mean, if they're given some kind of safety instruction, it probably should be in Spanish too, because we do have a lot of people that speak Spanish here. But it's the same thing. I think we need to push that English be the primary language here. I don't think we need a constitutional amendment. I think we just need to change in people's views and in the way they view things. And we need to take pride in being Americans. And that's something else we need to. I mean, we have a great culture here in America. Is it perfect? No, it's not. There's been no culture that's ever perfect. But we have a great way of life here, and we need to embrace that. Do we need to make some changes? Yes. Yes, we do. And we can make those changes. And I think we can make them in the right way. And of all the people on this radio station, then I think that I'm probably one, if you want to say a little more moderate, probably. Do I believe we need the government to fail and the country to fail? No, I don't believe failure should be in anyone's terminology whatsoever. I mean, if you're thinking of failure, that's going to permeate throughout your life. But we have a great lineup here, and that's the wonderful thing about being locally owned. Hot News Talk Radio AM 1240 is locally owned. We have two owners. They live here, and they are, they put different views and different ideas on this radio station. Are we conservative talk? Absolutely we are. But I mean, you think about it. We start off our day, and I'm talking about the local programming from 12 to 11 with the David Tulis Show. David is a very learned man. He's a very educated man. He is a man that's strong in his Christian ideals and beliefs, and he portrays that. And he has a certain view of the world and the way he thinks America should be. And I think that's great. And I agree with David on a lot of things, but I also disagree. And they allow me to do that. Local ownership allows me to do that. Hey, after me, don't forget the Digital Drive. His views about technology and how they work is amazing, and that'll be from noon to 1. And then, of course, you got Keon. His big fault is he's a Texas fan, but other than that, he does a great job on the clutch. That's the first local sports show at this time. You are listening to the Mr. Judd Show on Hot News Talk Radio, AM 1240.
You give us 12 minutes and 40 seconds, we'll give you Chattanooga and the world.
News Talk 1240.
Expect some morning clouds, but mainly dry weather for your Monday. Afternoon highs into the lower 80s tonight, becoming fair, comfortable lows upper 50s, with some sunshine and pleasant weather for Tuesday and Wednesday, highs 81 to 83. Experience the demo teams of the U.S. Air Force F-22 Raptor, F-A-18 Hornet, U.S. Marine Corps Osprey, and the Geico Sky Typers at the Wings Over North Georgia Air Show in Rome, October 3rd and 4th. For tickets, wingsovernorthgeorgia.com. And I'm WDEF News 12 Chief Meteorologist Patrick Hoare.
On AM 1240, Hot News Talk Radio. This is America Now with Meghan McCain.
Al Gore running is crazy. You're flying around in your private jet all over the world, and you want average Americans to care about the environment. Don't you think you should be doing your part as well?
Meghan McCain, weekdays at 7 p.m.
You give us 12 minutes and 40 seconds, we'll give you Chattanooga and the world.
News Talk 1240.
Are you tired of feeling like just another account number to your financial advisor? Try something refreshingly different. Call Edward Jones Financial Advisor Patrick Neal in Hickson at 870-7894. Edward Jones, making sense of investing. Member SIPC.
Sky Aerial Services uses advanced drone technology to give you a better perspective and depth of your property and project. We offer aerial photography and video for your business, farm, home, or advertising campaigns, as well as editing services to complete the experience. Call us at 423-521-0284 and see how we can help you tell your story about your business, property, or project. We work with real estate professionals, both commercial and residential, developers, engineer inspectors, surveyors, ad agencies, auto and boat dealers, mapping services, insurance inspectors, corporate marketing, charity events, weddings, and photographers. Our consultation is free. Call 423-521-0284. That's 423-521-0284, or visit our website, skyaerialservices.com. Sky Aerial Services. The sky is our limit.
Social media, we're on that. Hot News Talk Radio on Facebook, at Hot News Talk Radio on Twitter. Download the TuneIn app and follow us anywhere at any time. AM 1240, Hot News Talk Radio.
Tired of insurance companies? Tired of doctors that won't spend time with you? Do something different. Leave the sick care model of medicine and come to Dr. Danielle Mitchell, the Chattanooga Sports Institute and Center for Health, where we're interested in long-term health solutions, not the quick fixes. Come see me, Dr. Danielle Mitchell, at the Chattanooga Sports Institute and Center for Health. I'm all about the long-term healthcare solutions and doing what's best. On the web, you can find me at ChattanoogaSportsInstitute.com. That's ChattanoogaSportsInstitute.com. Or call us at 875-1005, 875-1005, or find us on social media, Facebook, Dr. Danielle Mitchell, or the ChattanoogaSportsInstitute.com. Let's go, ya!
We've got a table here at Delia's in Saudi Daisy, ready to delight in a plate of authentic Mexican food. Delia's spreads a rich selection: loaded nachos, crazy chicken, homemade tamales, maybe the enchiladas with beef, chicken, pork, quesadillas. Every dish beautifully pictured on the menu to help us decide. Join us for lunch or dinner. We're at Delia's in Saudi Daisy on Dayton Pike near the Thrasher Light. Here's dinner. Delia's uses the freshest ingredients, cooked to perfection. Nachos, homemade. Delia's open every day except the Lord's Day. For lunch and dinner, treat yourself to Delia's genuine Mexican food. In Saudi, call 521-7145. That's 521-7145.
Hi, I'm David Tulis, inviting you to make the move with me 9 to 11 a.m. weekdays here at AM 1240 Hot News Talk Radio. The David Tulis Show, featuring Nooganomics.com for Chattanooga and beyond. 9 to 11 a.m. weekdays.
That smells so good. Smells like a big Italian dinner. But you're going to walk out with two. Buy one hot pizza, get a one for free. 2 pizzas. You got the 2 for the price of 1 at Raphael's Italian Restaurant and Pizzeria. My favorite Italian restaurant of all the time. Now, I'm living in Hicks, and I go to Raphael's right down the street in Hicks and Pike, right near Highland Plaza. You're in Saudi Daisy? Raphael's Italian Restaurant and Pizzeria in Saudi Daisy. Just next to Saudi Daisy Church of God. Hey, you're on Signal Mountain. There's a Raphael's Italian Restaurant and a Pizzeria. It's right on the main drag. You're going to love the pasta, the pizza. Buy one hot pizza, get a one for free. 2 pizzas. You got the 2 for the price of 1 at Raphael's Italian Restaurant and Pizzeria. Tastes so good. Bring the whole family. Come on, Raphael's Italian Restaurant and Pizzeria. Mangia. Salute.
You give us 12 minutes and 40 seconds, we'll give you Chattanooga and the world.
News Talk 1240.
Ooh, baby, it's the Mr. Judd Show.
Yes, it is. Man, what a fast hour this has been. Being back in the saddle, roping and wrangling. I sound like Tex. I got to give you an update on Tex, too. We'll see if we can find one. I found what he's doing, and I'm going to tell you, this is the most incredible fella. He will not be here this week, I do not think, but he is the most incredible fellow when it comes to what he does for a living. You're listening to Hot News Talk Radio, AM 1240. The Mr. Judd Show is brought to you by JJS. That's JJS if you're looking to buy a house, or maybe you have to sell a house, and instead of just letting it go into foreclosure or something like that, he can help you out. Also, it does a lot of rent-to-owns, rent-to-buys. I mean, all of this stuff. He can get you into a very nice house that you're probably thinking you can't afford, and then end up with a nice mortgage at the same time. He also does a full complement of remodeling, and so give him a call. That's JJS at 423-618-3980, 423-618-3980. And you are listening to Hot News Talk Radio. You can listen to us at hotnewstalkradio.com. And, of course, on the AM dial, 1240 AM, on the TuneIn app. And I know everybody knows how to get the TuneIn app. You got a smartphone, you just go. It's free. Download the TuneIn app and then type in Hot News Talk Radio, AM 1240. Hey, look, David Tulis had a great guest, David Allen Carmichael. He actually sued the federal government and wins, and that's over. He lives without a Social Security number. Now, maybe you didn't catch that. Maybe you're just waking up. Maybe you're just sobering up, whatever it is. But if you go to YouTube, it's pretty simple, youtube.com, and type in Hot News Talk Radio, you can see the David Tulis Show, and you can hear and see David Allen Carmichael on there and talk to you about his ordeal and how he has taken something that you may think that'd be a rough life, man. You don't have a Social Security number. How are you going to do this? How are you going to do that? He has taken that and put it in such a positive way and really has formed a ministry out of it. So you want to hear, and that's pretty simple. You can catch all of our shows. That's on YouTube. Just type in Hot News Talk Radio, and you can hear what David Tulis, the one and only the David, DT, was rocking it in the house with David Allen Carmichael. And maybe we can get Mr. Carmichael to maybe twist his arm, because he has a radio program, and we'd like to kind of have him come over here and do some things with us, because I believe what he's doing, he's putting a lot of good information out. And, that way he can help you all. So I do have an update. As you know, that's the one and only Cowboy Up with Tex music. And I have an update on him. And he was wrangling cows for a couple of weeks. He had a big cattle drive where he went all the way from Waco, Texas up to Chicago. Well, now and I guess I don't know if there's an off season for cattle driving, but I know it's going to get cool, and they don't want to be driving cattle around when it's cool. And it would be too hard to, put them on a truck, but he actually, they actually cowboyed, and he and about 3 other cowboys actually drove the cattle, not in a truck. But so now what he's doing is he's actually a snake wrangler, one of the top snake wranglers in the U.S., and he's transporting snakes around the country. Now, there's nothing more secure and nothing more I would like to think more about is maybe riding in a carload of snakes. Wouldn't that be fun? Well, anyway, that's what Tex is doing. That's why you're not hearing him on the air. He's got all these other jobs. That's why you kind of hear him and he comes and goes. But look, if you're a Tex listener, why don't you get up a little earlier, listen to David Tulis, listen to me, listen to the Digital Drive, or, maybe you just want to catch some news, and every now and then he'll call in, Tex will call in, and that's at the Hot News at 5. At Hot News at 5, where we're going to give you local news, we're going to give you traffic and weather, and we're really the only radio station that does that. Now, let's talk about Dr. Ben Carson. What happened to him yesterday? Here's how I know he listens to the Mr. Judd Show. And this is from The Hill publication, thehill.com. Republican presidential hopeful Dr. Ben Carson is standing by his view that a Muslim should not be president of the United States, telling The Hill in an interview on Sunday that whoever takes the White House should be sworn on a stack of Bibles, not a Quran. And he called heat over it. I mean, he has called heat over it. He was on the Sunday morning interview with Chuck Todd, Meet the Press, in which he said he would not advocate we put a Muslim in charge of this nation. I absolutely would not agree with that, he said. And I mean, and of course, these liberal blankety blank blanks, they're going to come at him pretty hard. But listen to what he gave. He gives some examples. Now, some of this was what happened with Trump when they asked him if they thought that Obama was a Muslim. And you know what? I do. But so it says Carson said that the only exception he'd make if a Muslim were running for office, if he publicly rejected the tenets of Sharia and lived a life consistent with that. So he's saying if you're a Muslim, you're going to have to reject part of your doctrine, part of your belief. On several occasions, Carson has mentioned the tequila, not tequila, but taqiyya, which is a practice in Shia Islam domination, which a Muslim can mislead believers about the nature of their faith to avoid religious prosecution. Now, we've heard that. You've heard that on this show when I've played the 3 things that you should know about Islam. That's one of their things. You can deceive. You can lie if it's going to promote Islam, kind of like Barack Hussein Obama. The thing about this is he is not backing down. A lot of times these people will say this, but this is a man of faith, a man of belief. He's a strong Christian man, and he's an intelligent man. So he's not some wacko. They can't come at him. You're some wacko. I heard an excerpt from one of the Muslim organizations saying that he was Islamic phobic. He's not scared of Muslims. Come on. Just because you disagree with someone doesn't mean you're scared with them. It's like being homophobic. I'm not scared of homosexuals. I think they have a severe brain problem, and we need to find the research that's a whole nother discussion. We're going to stay here. Carson told The Hill that the question of Muslim president is largely introverted because no Muslims are running in 2016. Of course, it's one of those issues they love to bring up for a Republican candidate that says, hey, we got you on this. Now you hate Muslims. They want to find something that Hillary, because she's for everything. She doesn't hate anything except for Republicans. However, he acknowledged the question served a useful purpose by providing the opportunity to talk about what Sharia is and their goals. And I think that's great. And he laid it out. I mean, he talks about Sharia. He talks about what they're looking to do. And he brings this to the forefront that most Americans really don't, because, most people kind of get their information from, the media as they walk by their television set, or they listen to a little blurb on the news, and that's it. They don't research and go into this, but you really need to, because they're at war with us. And if they can get a Muslim in the White House, do you think he's going to respect the Constitution? No. Their religion teaches them not to respect anything but Sharia law. And, the Constitution is in direct conflict with Sharia law. So we have Dr. Ben Carson standing up and saying this. And I admire him. I think it's going to bring him, more people are going to look and say, hey, wait a minute, this guy is saying what we know and we think, and he can say it and back it up. Now, is he saying that, we shouldn't have Muslims in this country? No, because I am a firm believer that you have the right to practice any religion, whether I like it or not, in this country. But I also think that in that context that we need to be worried about and not give presidential prejudice to a certain religion because we're worried about how they may react or say. In other words, they shouldn't be able to practice Sharia law. Now, the question is, could they even be a part of this country if they're not allowed to practice Sharia law? We have the Constitution, which is, you can say it's biblically based. It is, which biblically based is a pretty common sense moral thing. And that's where our Constitution comes from. So I admire Dr. Ben Carson. Of course, I'm a friend of his. Yeah, he calls me all the time. I'm a fan of his. I know he listens to the show, so he's a fan of mine. But I'm very glad he brought this up and didn't back down from it. And as Trump always, he didn't back down. Someone in the audience, if you didn't see the clip, YouTube it, someone in the audience asked a question about Barack Obama. Was he a Muslim? And you know what? He didn't say no. And everybody said he should have said no. And he's blah. But I'm going to tell you, Barack Hussein Obama may say he's a Christian, but he sure acts like a Muslim to me. He acts like a Muslim to me. And I think that's part of it. And, he wouldn't be questioned if he didn't. If some of the things he was doing, the Iran deal, Iran-Contra, boy, I'm really about to date myself. Look, but Dr. Ben Carson, I send kudos out to you. I know you're listening. I'll probably get a tweet from him. I'm thankful that a good Christian man like yourself is standing up and not being scared to call a Muslim what a Muslim is. And that's what he's done. And so I tell you what, we need more people like that in politics. We really do. And need more people like that in this country. You are listening to Hot News Talk Radio, AM 1240. I want to thank JJS. Give them a call, 423-618-3980, 423-618-3980 for the sponsorship of the Mr. Judd Show. We'll be back tomorrow. Now, tomorrow's going to be a little more lively. Then Wednesday, the good doctor will be here, and we're going to talk about that. Tomorrow, I have an interview with the air show folks. So they're going to be calling in on my show. So you definitely need to listen tomorrow. You need to listen every day. Digital Drive is next from noon to 1. The one and only, the Adolescent.
Expect some morning clouds, but mainly dry weather for your Monday. Afternoon highs into the lower 80s tonight, becoming